Diamond came out in the middle of last year, in June, in the middle of lockdown. Was creating the record hindered in any way by lockdown in terms of kind of not being able to write and record in the same way as before?
We had all of the stuff already written kind of and recorded once we'd released it. So we wrote and recorded that record. Yeah, we probably finished a month or two before the lockdown started. And then, of course, when the lockdown started, we knew we wouldn't be able to tour it and play it live to people. So we were kind of bummed about that. And we still really haven't had the chance to do the tour that we were sort of planning to do back then.
Yeah. So does that make sense? Because a lot of your music is just made to be played live, obviously. Like your origins are about playing live music. Yeah,
it's good. Stoked that, you know, all the gigs are starting to get to happen again and all of that. Because that was a big part of sort of our thing that was missing. We had all these tours planned, but we never got the chance to sort of do it. And we did do like a live recording in a studio in Sydney, Studio 301, and we released that on the internet for people to watch, sort of just to give them something. Yeah. But it's not the same as the live show we wanted to do. So we kind of didn't want to do too much that internet streaming stuff, and we wanted to save it for when we get back on stage.
Yeah, definitely. Because we saw you in Canberra, and it was just so good to finally be listening to live music, and it was just phenomenal, obviously. It felt
Thank you very much.
Not only to be listening, but to be amongst the crowd.
Yeah, were you the first night or the second night?
I think it was the Friday. Was that the first night? I think the one when everyone went down the
Friday. Yeah, when everyone we got in trouble after that, and the next night we got a talking to saying we need to stop encouraging people to get out of their seats. So
I think there was a lot of pent up energy from everyone finally being allowed to go somewhere.
So when creating Lonely Diamond, what artists were you guys listening to, and were they different to the ones you were listening to when recording the other records?
Yeah, I mean, we all have such varied taste in music, and I think the stuff that we listen to, each of us listen to on, you know, by ourselves in our own time is really different. But we were really keen on the Currumbin album, Mortdecai, and there's kind of like these, sort of like they have this big like world sound, and I think that maybe where the sort of idea of doing the spaghetti western kind of sounding tracks at the start and end must have come from. Like, we never have any specific conversations about influences or trying to sound like a specific person band that we've been listening to or anything like that. So it kind of just comes out subconsciously.
Yeah.
And so I think that could probably be attributed to that album, and we spent a lot when we were together. We spent a lot of time listening to that, driving around. Mm-hmm. No one in particular. It's kind of just we just kind of roll with it, see what happens.
Yeah, actually makes sense. I understand that, right? Because I could honestly play any Ocean Alley song to any of my friends, and they would just know it's Ocean Alley. So it's interesting that when you're creating a record, you don't even have like a conscious thing that you're trying to achieve, but you do consistently end up.
Yeah, of course.
Sound. What do you attribute that to? Just you're all on the same wavelength. You're all just so close.
I would attribute that to the fact that we have only ever played in. All of us have only ever been in one band, and it's this band. Right. And we've been playing music together for 10 years now, at least. And so, it's something that we don't need to think about. Well, we didn't really think about it back in the day when we were jamming in the shed and just mucking around, but it sort of just stayed that way. Yeah. And it works out easy for us, where we can be lazy at times. So we don't have to do any extra homework before rehearsals or before jam day. We just show up and kind of just do what we want. And we've realised that that's the way that we can make music that we want to make. So it just hasn't changed at all. we'd be stuffed if we had to work with another band, or if Ocean Alley stopped and we had to go work and we had to go play with other people. It would be a real wake up call, shock to the system, I think.
Yeah.
Do you generally start with vocals that Baden's come up with, or like a melody, guitar hook kind of thing?
I think these days most often it's like chords that Baden has written, or a bass line that Nick, the bass player, has done. Rarely do we start with lyrics or a lyrical idea, or rarely do we start making a song that we intend to put a certain story to. That the lyrics and the storytelling does come after the music, I think. Yeah. There's a new song that we're working on right now, which Baden pretty much had written in full. So that's an exception. But when he showed it to us and we started playing it together, we really like it. So we're going down that path, and we're going to give that some attention. So that's new music. But just as an example, that it sounded so different to what Baden had in mind. So like as soon as he didn't know if it was going to be a good Ocean Alley song or not, and then he gave it to us, and we changed the vibe of it completely. But yeah, he wrote pretty much the chords and lyrics in its entirety. But other times it just starts with a melodic idea, a bass line. Lockie, the keyboard player, he wrote All Worn Out in its entirety pretty much before he showed it to us, all the chords and stuff just on the piano. And that one we actually didn't change very much. I remember we wanted to sort of give it a minimal treatment. So that is pretty similar to it sounds pretty similar to what it sounded like when Locke first showed us. And Confidence, for example, was Nick wrote that on the bass, I think. He just started with a do, 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 do. And then I just copied him with some bar chords. And then, and Baden wrote the lyrics right at the end for that.
Wow. I think I can say as well that it tends to be Indigo will hear the production on something and then will come up with the concept based on how she feels because of the music. So I think that... Yeah,
that's how we work as well. That's how Baden works as well.
So can anyone just come in and bring something to the table and be like, I thought of this, what do you guys think?
Yeah, totally. That's how it's always been. And anyone's welcome to, everyone just sort of chips in, and we know each other pretty well, and we're very comfortable with each other. So if someone has a bad idea, we normally tell them that it's shit, and we just, and just leave it there. So in that way, we kind of like filter out and sift out the ideas as we're going. So there's not too much planning. So we sort of just get in a room and everyone's throwing ideas out. And
I did notice. I watched the tour video around the Europe and the UK, like kind of like the after movie, and which was like a fantastic little follow along for you guys. But what I found really interesting was the part where Locke started. He had to sing for a few shows.
Oh, that was the old one. That was the old video.
Yeah. Quite a while ago. I was thinking to myself.
Yeah. Anyway, go on.
After seeing you guys play in Canberra, and there was like a few backing vocals, I was like, would there ever be a chance that you guys play around with multiple vocals in the song, not just Baden singing? Is that an idea that's been floated around, or is Baden scared that Locke might come after his job?
I don't think Lockie's ever going to steal Baden's job, because we can attribute a lot of our band's success to the fact that we have an amazing vocalist and an amazing frontman, and bands that lack that strong vocals in whatever style they may be singing, but bands that lack that strong lead vocals really... I think they find it difficult to kind of break through, and because Baden's vocals are so strong and they have great character, and Locke expertly every time manages to slot his backing vocals in there, and Locke's always giving Baden a hand in singing and stuff, and the fact that the two of them work so well together is a massive benefit for us.
Absolutely. And I think as you were saying, with having a really strong lead vocalist, hearing you guys play live, it genuinely, amazing. Like the sound was so similar to like if you were listening like on like at home or whatever, So Baden's vocals really are, it's like one of those artists that you just listen to him sing and he would just nail it every first take. That's just how good he is.
Yeah. That's really important to us, and we try and that's like the pinnacle that we strive for. So it's really nice to hear you say that. If we can have people say that to us all the time, so when they stop saying that to us, then we'll know there's a problem, because we really like to, we want to be a live band, and our recorded music, we want to sound like our live show rather than the other way around.
Yeah,
100%, and it definitely achieves that.
Yeah, it was so good. Like, we were so blown away.
Oh, thanks.
So you guys spend so much of your time on tour. So you've toured Europe, the UK, Australia, New Zealand, and North America. Do you still write and record music while you're touring? And is that hard? Like, is that you find time for it?
We probably don't. We don't write or record any music while we're touring. Kind of full on, just sort of living on top of each other and just enjoying the performing. You can really get into a rhythm when you start doing 4 shows in a row, 5 shows in a row. And you get on stage, and some nights you walk on stage and you can't even remember playing, really, because it's just like second nature, and that's sort of what we live for. But we're always mucking around at soundcheck sort of with some ideas. There's been a few songs that have sort of eventuated from just like mucking around, sort of playing stuff when we shouldn't have been. The sound guys going, come on, can you do that song that we need a sound check? And then we're just playing something else. So I think it's all about just having fun and playing with it. And we're so lucky that during our touring schedule and our recording schedule, when we're at home, we have the opportunity to do that. We have the team around us that realizes that's an important part of our band, and we have the time and the resources to be able to have fun with it and always enjoy it.
So we've just got a few kind of like quick kind of rapid fire questions.
Get into the kind of Mitch, I think.
Yeah.
Oh God, you don't want to do that.
Would you rather be able to play every instrument perfectly, or speak every language perfectly, completely fluently?
Language for sure.
That's what I said. Like, even as a musician, it's just
yeah, more useful, and I think it's more impressive, to be honest.
Yes.
I don't know.
Okay, another rapid fire. So we actually spend a lot of time in the Northern Beaches. What are your favorite places to eat in the Northern Beaches?
This is a recommendation.
And this is a personal. This is just for us.
No, but there's a 5-star just across the road from me. Actually, it's called Chili Shasha, and they do Thai food. And you will not have a bad meal from there. Takeaway, eat-in, you will not have a bad meal. It's 5 stars for a reason, and the consistency is incredible. So you find a dish there that you like, and you'll be addicted to it. You'll be eating it every day. They must put a lot of MSG in there, but I don't give a shit. It tastes great, and they're so friendly, and it's so reliable. So like that just beats everywhere around here by far. I wish everywhere was like that.
Oh my gosh. Okay, we're going to Sydney soon, Jay.
I've already written it down.
Chili Shasha, Robertson Road, and we live in.
Yeah.
You might see us in the window.
Right.
Sweet.
What's the best way to spend $100? At Chili Shasha.
Nah, see, the best thing about back to Chili Shasha, they do $10 lunchtime deals.
Oh my God.
Full plate of like curry or whatever you want, $10 between midday and 3:30. Best way to spend $100, I would go and buy some really nice craft beers. Just go crazy and buy some really out there psycho beers and just sort of some stuff that I haven't tried before. I think that's a good way to spend $100, drink it.
Okay. This is a good one. What do your parents and family think of your music?
They like it. They're very proud of all of our parents. Are very proud of us all. They're probably a bit surprised that we've made it this far doing what we're doing. We used to rehearse. The band started out the back of Nick's parents' place in Monavale, and we used to jam in his shed, and I think they were just happy that we weren't roaming the streets at night time and we were just mucking around. Everyone would come back home after work and we just set up, and we might play a lot of music or we might just sit around and do not much. But I think that was a period there where we really got stuck into it and really became together as a group of musicians. And they actually missed it when we left the garage. They said, "Oh, it's there's afternoons that you guys rehearse, so they're a bit quiet." And they would be upstairs listening to our racket downstairs, putting up with it. So yeah, they're all proud and probably just confused as to what we're doing.
Has everyone's mums brought the new record?
No, they don't have to buy it. They get free merch. Lucky it's worth something because they're like, "Oh, cool, a shirt." But yeah, all the mums have come to. The mums love coming to gigs and that. So there was a gig we played about a year ago in Sydney, and we got a party bus, and all of our friends and our parents were on the bus together, going into the city. So that got pretty wild, as you can imagine.
Okay, cool. Last question. This is a deep one that I have always asked myself, and I've asked George as well. Okay. If no one was ever going to hear your music, would you still make it?
Yeah, definitely. I think when we started making music, we didn't think anyone would want to listen to our music. So yeah, I'd have to say yes. The joy that I reckon we'd be stoked just getting up on a stage to an empty room and playing. The joy we get just playing together and sort of eyeing each other off on the stage when we're performing, or eyeing each other off across the room when we're rehearsing it's so good. And yeah, so I would say we'd definitely still be playing and making music if no one was ever going to hear it.
Yeah, right answer.
Yeah, correct.
Cool.
Okay, well that's everything. Did you have anything you wanted to add, to plug anything or anything about the new record?
No, maybe just next Exit Festival. We're playing in May, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And that's next Exit Festival. That's a touring festival in New South Wales, and it's going to all these regional places. It's going to Mudgee, Tamworth, Gosford, Port Macquarie, and Batemans Bay, I believe.
Oh.
And so I'm not normally keen to plug anything, but these days we need to get as many people buying tickets, especially to those shows in those locations, so we can get the bloody economy in our communities back on track after the lockdown. So yeah, we look forward to seeing everyone and anyone who shows up to those shows.
Yeah,
I think everyone will be pretty eager to come back and listen to some live music, so shouldn't be that hard to get.
Yeah. They won't mind traveling out of the city either. So
yeah. And the crowd was just crazy at the Canberra show we came to on the Friday. Just so many people.
Yeah. Like we said before, everyone was just so eager.
Running up the front, and I knew some of the guards that were working at the theatre. And they were just "Oh my God, we didn't know what to do."
They're having a great time.
Just loved you.
I was watching chicks grinding up against those security guards all night. They were frothing.
And the girl that ran up on the stage.
Oh, the girl that got on the stage, that was funny. Yeah. She literally jumped.
Oh, yeah. That's good. Yeah, it's good fun. We love the enthusiasm. So, that meant a lot to us. It felt like we were, it was back in the old days a year ago.
Yeah. And we actually noted to each other that there was people from this huge age range, so much younger than us. And then, parents and adults and old people. We were just
I feel like Ocean Alley's music is like that. It's kind of universal. I don't think anyone can say, because it's reminiscent of these older sounds because of some of maybe these other influences, kind of a Hendrix sound, or maybe
or a Dire Straits or something. Exactly, it's got that guitar, that old school guitar sound.
Yeah.
And then I think Baden's vocals have a great soul sense. Exactly.
So it feels like that, but it also still holds up with this almost like a modern sound. It's just so universal.
I was having a laugh at the Canberra show because there was some old guy, and in between everyone, all the young people standing up and cheering, this old guy was just sitting there the whole show like that, and he was just quietly nodding he was loving it. But he was just, a couple of grey nomads there, Good.
And then I heard that Saturday was a little more tame because
because we got in trouble.
Yeah.
really onto it. Like they were like, we're going to have this huge like mosh.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much,
team.
Mitch,
Thank you so much
for joining us.
This has been really fantastic.
Yeah.
No worries.
We love just talking to
Good fun.
musicians, and we're like humongous fans. So we were like, what the heck when we got asked to interview.
Yeah, sick.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, hopefully I'll see you guys around town sometime.
Yes, we'll be able to show.
We'll see you at the
Chili Shasha, yeah. Yes. I'll see you there.